Hello all, welcome to Memoirs of an Ugly Man. In this video, I'd like to talk about how if you're a below average guy, you may be better off by not spending your money on dating apps and instead using them for something that is going to be beneficial to you, that's going to give you much more happiness over a much longer period of time. So instead of spending money on dating apps, maybe buy a PlayStation 5 or something like this. I know from my experience that I've been using dating apps for about 10 years, probably more actually, probably much more. Dating websites, and I think overall, my success rate is almost zero. I've probably spent, if we were talking US dollars, the international currency, I've probably spent in those 10 plus years $500 easily. And I feel that I would have been better off using that money instead to have bought a PlayStation 5, because that would have given me hours of happiness and joy. Something that I could go to over and over again, that would be there for me, that would be loyal to me, that would be faithful to me. Something that would give me pleasure repeatedly. Whereas if I had used dating apps, which I have, what's really come of it? Nothing. And I think if you're a below average guy and you are using dating apps, the chances are, whether you're on it for a couple of months or a couple of years, the chances are you're going to see no success. I'm not saying it's impossible, because sure, there are below average men out there that may get some insane success and lucky energy. But for the most part, I think that most people, if you're below average, you're doomed. So why not, instead of spending that money on dating apps, just use it for yourself. Buy something that can give you repeated happiness, and whether it's a PlayStation 5, where it's whatever you like, but something that you could return to over and over again. So I was just thinking, that I've spent over $500. I would have been so much better off if I had spent that on a PlayStation 5. I could have enjoyed that much more, and I regret greatly spending that much money on dating apps, because nothing ever came from it. It was pointless. It was useless. If you're a below average guy, you're playing that game in extreme difficulty. If you're handsome and tall, then it's a different world for you. But those guys who are below average in looks and height, you know exactly what I mean. Or even average height, but yeah, you know exactly what I mean. So yeah. Well, if you're younger, you might not. But if you're experienced, if you have some life experience, then yeah, I'm sure you get it. Just thinking about the kind of games I could play on the PlayStation 5, and the joy I could get from playing Battlefield or Call of Duty. I remember like buying a subscription to dating apps and just swiping like a maniac. Swipe, 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 swipe on everybody with zero success. What's the point? You get to a point in life where you're like, what is the point? Nothing's going to happen. If anybody does match with me, they're generally scammers. So, it makes no sense. I think it gets to a stage where you have to acknowledge reality. And reality is that, unfortunately, if you're below average, you're sidelined, you're marginalized, and women are something that's almost especially in dating apps, are unattainable for you. I'm not saying you can't attain women, but dating apps is not for you. Dating apps are for like when only for men. They're generally for the people that are above average. So yeah, so $500 is a lot of money, and looking back on my life, I definitely know where I would have rather have spent that money. So if anyone's watching who's maybe a younger man and you're below average, there's other ways you can try and pursue women. Dating apps is not one. My advice to you is save your money and buy something that you will truly give you happiness for a much longer period of time. Whether it's a PlayStation 5 or whatever you like, something along those lines is going to be way more beneficial to you. Anyway, that's just my thoughts for the day. Hope you all have a good day and catch you all the next time.